Welcome back to the channel, everybody. With the January transfer window coming up, me and Connor are going to go through and choose a player each team that needs to move for many reasons. It can be positive, it could be negative. So should we get into it, Connor?
Let's go for it.
Let's start off properly. Got to get to see Bournemouth. Who have we gone with?
I've gone with Dango Atara.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the club's outgrown him now. Like when they first got him in, he was a key part of their team.
quality.
You know, yeah, he was decent. But now I think they're just starting to outgrow him. Justin Kluivert's got a lot better in those wing positions. Anton Semenyo as well has done really well, and he's a good player to come off the bench. But I think he can be more than that. 'Cause he's proved that he can be a decent Prem player, but not as a bit part sub. I feel like if he goes down to the bottom 10 sort of, because Bournemouth are in the top 10 now, surprisingly. So yeah, if he goes with one of them teams, you get game time. So yeah, I went with Dango Atara.
I went with Mans.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't played this season.
No, okay.
No, if he has, Bournemouth fans let us know. I haven't seen him in the starting 11.
Oh, okay.
And he was, tipped as an outsider of the golden generation of England right backs.
Yeah. Hyped up at Norwich a lot, yeah.
I mean, Barcelona and Bayern were after him.
Yeah.
So this is the levels of hype we're talking about. And now he's just got mentioned. I even forgot he was there.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought he was just playing games. But if he's not even played, that's a shock.
Yeah,
like,
when I looked, he hasn't played a single game this season.
that just tells you a story that he's probably not even good enough for Iriola, He probably prefers other players. And yeah, it's a shock to be fair, but I can see why. If he's not playing, then yeah.
Maybe you drop back down to the Championship.
Possibly.
It's a shame, another English talent gone to waste. But on to Arsenal now. Quite a few players you could pick for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Who have you gone with?
Well, I was torn between this guy and another one, but I've gone with Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, as we said in many videos, he's just not. Yeah, he's just not good enough, is he, for a title challenging side? He can't score the goals consistently, and that's what you need. Every team that wins a title needs that guy, and he ain't. And he can do a job at a sort of, guy team pushing for Europe maybe, but in terms of a title winning team, he's just not that guy. So I'd sell him, get a good chunk of money for him as well. So
yeah, he probably would. I mean, the right league came in.
Yeah, exactly.
Overpay, mate. Overpay for him, yeah. I've gone with another forgotten man, another fullback, Kieran Tierney.
Oh, okay.
The reason I've picked him, and I said it to you before, is he's always injured. Ever since he came from he even arrived with an injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's never a good look, is it?
He was always injured. When he did play, he was below standard, below par.
Yeah.
And you think of the players ahead of him, Calafiori, Timber can play there.
Probably even Zinchenko could get over him, yeah.
Tommy Yasu's even played there at times.
Yeah.
And knowing Arteta, he's probably put Saka at left back. But there's 4 or 5 players better than him and ahead of him.
Yeah.
And let's be real, he's meant to be Scotland's captain. He can't be basically playing the reserves at Arsenal.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
I think maybe go back to Scotland.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he did all right at Real Sociedad when he went on loan there, so there is chances for him to go abroad. Like, look at how many good Scottish talents done well in Serie A.
Yeah,
McTominay, you got that Ferguson, Gilmore. So maybe he moved to Serie A. Yeah, Aaron Hickey, Bologna. Yeah. So maybe a move abroad would do him good, But yeah, it's a good shout to be fair.
Yeah, right. On to Aston Villa next. I think we might have the same player.
I went with Tyrone Mings.
Same.
Yeah.
I went with Tyrone Mings.
Yeah. It's just that big injury that he had to just sort of set him back a lot.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they brought in Pau Torres, who has been a stalwart in Emery's side. I feel like he relies on him a lot.
He's adapted very well.
That's it, yeah. And they've got like Diego Carlos, Ezri Konsa has gone up astronomically. Like, he has been so good for them.
He's been really good.
Got into England as well. Like, he's improved. And it's going to be so hard for him to get a team, especially when he's like 30 years old. It's going to be hard for him to integrate back into the team, and why not? He's a prem standard centre back,
definitely.
So why
he's a
not?
Big boy as well.
Yeah,
6'5".
that's it. So he can definitely drop down to the lower 10 clubs and be a decent player for them.
Right, on to Brentford next.
Yeah,
this was a hard one for me because to me their squad seems very settled.
Yeah.
But going off social media and what's been happening in the last couple of weeks, done around Twitter, Instagram, I've gone with Fabio Carvalho.
Oh, okay.
He's done to lead the club.
Yeah, true. Is
publicly saying it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened with Carvalho. I mean, he left Fulham and he's just...
Yeah, again, he's meant to be that guy coming up, sort of like Max Aarons, come up from the Championship for Fulham, meant to be the next big thing, signs for Liverpool, just never worked out wherever he's gone since Liverpool, Like,
Leipzig, he was...
touch and go. He's probably his best version of himself, and that's in the Championship. So maybe that does tell you something, that he is a Championship player. But yeah, that's fair enough.
It's a shame because he's really talented. I think he's quality.
I went with Yarmolik, Ukrainian centre mid.
I didn't know that.
He's been brought in a few years ago, and Frank's done well. Like, he's slowly integrated into the team. Not giving him too much spotlight. Just sort of, slowly integrated him. But he just hasn't been good enough. And you get these players where they're standard. They're not Premier League standard players. And he's still young. He's still got a lot of potential. So I feel like get out while you can and get a good move where you're going to get minutes, going to improve as a player. So yeah, I went with Yarmolenko.
Yeah. So just to reaffirm, we're doing loans and transfers. It doesn't matter what sort of move.
They just need to get out of the club.
Yeah, just get out of the club. Right. Just in case that wasn't clear. Brighton next. I've gone with Evan Ferguson.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, Evan Ferguson.
I mean, he's recently been listed as loan available.
Yeah.
And you think who's playing ahead of him and how well they're playing. You think João Pedro's back from injury recently.
Yeah.
Makes an impact every time he
One
plays.
of the best players, isn't he? Yeah.
Definitely. Jorginho Rutter as well has performed massively.
And he just signed for 30 million, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's not going to get dropped anytime soon.
I mean, he showed his improvement from his time at Leeds. Where he was
100%.
shocking.
100%.
And he looks quality. He tries hard for every ball.
Yeah.
He wants to score. And Evan Ferguson's just being put in the shadows.
Really. Yeah, and he was meant to be that future star, wasn't he? Emerging talent and Ireland's best player coming out of, I think it's 2020, 21, something around there. But he just hasn't really kicked on from where he was meant to be,
He showed little spurts.
Yeah.
So he got that hat trick. Was it this season or last season against Newcastle?
Yeah, I think it was last season, yeah.
And everyone was like, this is his breakout game.
It's just injuries as well have sort of let him down.
Yeah.
He has a few ankle injuries and I just don't think that he's good enough yet to be in a challenging side for Europe as Brighton are.
Yeah.
So a loan, a move away could definitely help him. They could get a real good amount of money for him as well because he's so young, has that promising sort of feature about him still. And Brighton get a good chunk of money for him. I just felt it'd be better for him as well to get rid.
Right, should we go on to Chelsea?
Go for it.
Quite a few players available. Obviously, they have a massive bloated squad still.
Yeah.
I've gone with Ben Chilwell.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's in the way, to be fair.
He's been frozen out of the team by Maresca as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as much as no one really likes him in England, Cucurella has been playing really well. Minus the slip against Chelsea.
Minus the wrong boots.
Yeah, but apart from that, he's been good. I can't deny it.
Yeah, no, he's been class, to be fair. And Chilwell, as you said, has been frozen out. And which is strange, really, because Chilwell seems like his ideal left back. You think about Leicester, high flying fullbacks. Similar to Chilwell, but I think it's just his injury. He's always injured, Chilwell. Same with Reece James, and you can't rely on something like that. And fair enough. I can see why you chose Chilwell. I went with Mykhailo Mudryk.
Yeah.
Again, what you were saying about loan, I feel like I'd loan him rather than sell him because I still see a player in there. I still see that little spark where he can add something to a game where he can just change a game completely. And I feel like there is a player in there, but he just needs to get it out of him. And, making a jump from the Ukrainian league to the Premier League is such a big jump. And to throw him into the limelight like that with a 100 million price tag on his head, it's such a hard thing to, get used to and play well under. And a loan move away could sort of get the limelight away from him and sort of let him focus on his football.
Yeah, let him develop.
So I feel like I'd loan him out and maybe come back a better player.
Yeah, right, on to Crystal Palace now.
Yep.
I've gone with another man.
Okay.
And not a lot of people know he's still there. I've gone with Matthias Franca.
Oh, yeah.
Franca.
Yeah, Franca, I think it's Franca, I don't know.
I mean, signed by Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
And people were like, how have Palace got this Brazilian wonder kid?
Yeah.
I remember the links with him being mental.
Yeah.
And I've never heard from him. I just haven't seen him play, haven't seen him perform.
I think it may have just been more of a gamble rather than what they know he's going to be. And he just hasn't settled, has he? Like, maybe it's just a complete different thing to what he's used to. Obviously, he was out in Brazil beforehand, but yeah, he just hasn't worked out, as you said. That's fair enough. I went with Jeffrey Schlupp. Again, another scenario where I think the team is starting to outgrow him a bit. Like, he's been there since 2017, so he's been a good servant to the club. But I just don't think he's Palace level. You look at the season now; they're not doing great, and they need players who are going to make an impact. And I don't think Jeffrey Schlupp is that guy anymore. Used to be, but I don't think he is anymore. So for me, I'd get rid of Jeffrey Schlupp.
That's fair enough. Right, on to Everton.
Yep.
Mine's because I think he's too good for the team. I've said this loads of times before.
Okay.
In videos and in private. I've gone with Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, to be fair.
I mean, I just think he can do better than Everton.
What level, though, do you think? Like, where do you think he can be at? Like, a team challenger for Europe or a Europe side? Or what are we saying?
I'm not going to go into depth because we've got, like,
that's it.
15 other teams to talk about, but I think he'd be good for the team.
Yeah, definitely.
And I said this in the video because obviously it was a solo video.
Yeah.
But obviously it didn't come out well. He's got that thing that Chelsea are missing. He's got, he's got good distribution. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's actually really surprisingly professional.
Yeah.
And I think he's better than all of Chelsea's goalkeeping options.
Oh yeah, he's definitely better than all them. Yeah.
And he's actually composed on the ball, not like Robert Sanchez. He's also very flappy. Pickford, if he's coming for that ball, he's going to get that ball.
Yeah.
I know he's quite old now, Pickford, in terms of compared to Chelsea's squad, but he can be that one to help him develop and go on to that next level. I think. Anyway.
That's fair enough. Yeah. I went with Calvert-Lewin. He's been plagued by injuries for a few years now, but this year he's played. He started 12 games. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist, I think it is, or something like that. It's just not good enough. And considering, he's been injured, wait till he's fit, all that stuff, and then he'll be firing. He's been fit this season. He's been awful, and they can still, again, as another player, they can still get a decent amount for. I think teams pay that money because again they'll be looking at one season he had a few years ago and go, we can get that guy back to how he was. But yeah, I just don't think he's good enough for Everton anymore, and they've given him that run of games that he needs, and he hasn't performed. So I get rid of Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I mean, he showed flashes, but it's just not what Everton need.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not looking good at Everton.
No.
Right, on to them now.
Yeah.
I've gone with Carlos Vinicius.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, striker. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez is having a sort of a mini comeback.
Yeah.
At the minute. Rodrigo Muniz is a quality deputy.
Yeah, can be a decent player. Yeah.
And to me, Carlos Vinicius has got the Turkish Super League written all over him.
Yeah. Or Saudi.
Yeah. I don't even think he's good enough for Saudi. I think either go back to Brazil or go to Turkey.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The only ways I can see him going. Right, on to Ipswich now.
Yeah.
This is kind of hard for me because obviously not a lot of people know about the squad.
Yeah.
But I'm just going off what I've seen online. I could be wrong, so please correct me if I am wrong. I've gone with Jack Clark.
Oh, okay. I thought that he was quite good for them to be last season.
Apparently, the Ipswich fans aren't happy with him. The Sunderland fans would love to have him back.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Sunderland fans.
Yeah,
Again,
and
I'm sorry if this is wrong. I'm just going off what I've seen. And I think they're just saying he should just move back to Sunderland and pick up the form.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I went with Muric in goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every time I watch that guy play, I feel like he is their weakness every time, and
he's so bad.
He's so poor positional wise. He's just his judgment as well. His judgment from coming for crosses, the choice what to do in certain scenarios is so off. Like he cost them so many goals already this season, and maybe you could see that with Burnley as well when they were in the league. They were sort of swapping between him and Trafford, and he still wasn't good enough. And he still wasn't good enough. So for me, Ipswich, they've done good recruiting this season, but I feel like they got it wrong with Muric.
We're going into Leicester.
Yeah.
I've gone with Danny Ward.
Yeah,
Again, not a man.
Yeah.
I think he only played less than 10 times in about 7 years at Leicester. I was looking at his stats today.
Yeah.
Less than 10 games in 7 years at Leicester.
Yeah.
It says a lot. And when he has played in those games that I've watched, again, it's like 10.
Yeah.
He's just been awful.
He has been awful, to be fair.
He can't even be the number 1 for Wales.
No.
Which is a lot.
He's like you need him when you have a backup, a cup keeper. You need him at a decent rate, like a decent level. But he's not even that.
He's not even second choice.
No.
They've got Mads Hermansen.
Yeah.
And Daniel Iverson.
There we go. Then, yeah.
So he's not going to get game time. He's 31 as well.
Probably just that English quota where they're just keeping him on the book. Well, no, he's homegrown UK. Yeah. So. Maybe they're just keeping because of that, but yeah, you're right. He does need to get. I went with Veltface.
Understandable.
Yeah. Right. Again, it's the same with Muric. Like I've never seen him have a good game. And Callum was talking him up last year in the Championship, saying, "Yeah, he's good this season. He's going to be good the next following season in the Prem." He hasn't. He's been awful. And
again,
it's the same face. It's the same face we saw a few seasons back when he was in the Prem. I just don't think he's good enough. And when you look at where they are, they need solid defenders, defenders that are going to be 8 out of 10s every week to keep them up. And Veltface can't do that. He can't be an 8 out of 10 every week. Connor Cody can be that guy.
Connor Cody's just reliable.
Yeah, 100%. They need them types of profiles to keep him up. Like Everton have Tarkowski. Like he's a solid centre back who's been through the trenches with Burnley, but. Yeah, he's just not good enough for Premier League and needs to get rid of him, to be honest.
Right, so we're going on to the not champions, top of the table, Liverpool. I've gone with Federico Chiesa.
Yeah.
I was going to Kelleher.
Yeah.
But then I thought, Chiesa's come in, was going to be this, big impact player. I don't think I've seen him in a Liverpool shirt.
No, he's been injured.
He's been injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
I went with Kelleher.
You did go with Kelleher, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to put him, but then Chiesa's had no impact on the team.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, mine's more the player side, as in he needs to go, because once Alisson comes back to full fitness, you know what's going to happen. He's going to have one bad game. That's it. Alisson's going to be in for the rest of the season.
He'll probably be back in for the rest of the season, regardless.
That's it. Yeah, and it's not fair on him, because he's been quality ever since he's come in, and he had one mistake against Newcastle, but he's overall he's been class, and he's shown that he can be a Premier League proven goalkeeper.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
so I feel like he can get a move to a decent side in the Prem, so why not jump ship? Liverpool can get some money for it as well, so especially his stock has risen massively ever since Alisson's been injured, so can get a decent chunk for him. So yeah.
And also Liverpool have signed Billy. So
he's on loan at the moment. Yeah, definitely.
I just think Kelleher should do what Emi Martinez did. He wasn't getting
very true.
opportunities at
Very
Arsenal.
Same scenario. Yeah, you're
so
right.
he moved to Villa. He did take a step downwards, but he's gone and proved himself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Kelleher's going to go and win a World Cup and get the Golden Glove, but he can go in a similar way.
Yeah,
go in a similar direction.
It's very true. Like Leno got injured, Alisson got injured. Both come in, both done really well. Yeah, no, it's fair enough.
So from Liverpool to City now. You be a City fan. Who would you get rid of?
I'd go with Kyle Walker.
Oh yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, I felt like we held on for a bit too long, and the thing when doing that is you tarnish the guy's reputation. Like this man was solid consistently for
Even
4 or 5 seasons, and he's been an amazing servant to the club. But this season, I feel like we're exposed, especially with the injuries.
His age is showing.
Yeah, and he's like, there's loads of this season where he's cost us goals. He's been sloppy and he's cost us goals, and he's not been that player for 5 years. But now he's getting old. Judgment's getting a bit off now, and not really up to the standards that he was, which is a shame. But I feel like we just need him to move on, just for his sake as well as our sake, because if he stays here for longer than he should, then he's going to tarnish his reputation, all what he's done. Then people are going to go, oh yeah, but he was crap towards the end, you know what I mean? And
when you think of Kyle Walker, you think of the man who pocketed not even a season ago.
Yeah, and Mbappe as well.
Pocketing pocketing these really fast wingers. Now he's losing his main source of power.
Yeah, he got him out of jail a few times as well at that pace. So yeah.
I agree with you there, but I have gone with another Englishman. I've gone with Grealish.
Ooh, okay.
We've got to start labelling him a flop, man.
Yeah,
we have to start doing it. I mean, he hasn't scored a Premier League goal in nearly a year.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's registered an assist yet this season. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not good enough. 100 million, and you get someone who goes forward a few steps with the ball and dives. That's not what you're getting from 100 million.
Yeah, I can see your reasoning, but obviously...
I don't know if I'm being too harsh there.
No. I get what you mean in terms of stats. Like, you've got to have better output, you do. And you see in wingers as well, when they come to City, their numbers do go down. You think of Savio, you think of Doku. Their numbers are going down. They're not getting 20, 30 goals where we used to have Sterling and Sane, whose numbers were up there. But we're a different team now. We're not that type of team who's going to go all out like we did with Sane and Sterling. But I don't know. I'm liking this season where Pep's put him into the midfield, and
he's played better at the 10.
Yeah. And I'd like to see this season if he does develop into a quality guy in that midfield. But this is probably his last chance for me.
We're moving to your rivals now, United.
Yep.
There's quite a few players you could say.
I can have a list.
We could make this video just to own on Man United.
Well, we did. Keep ourselves.
Yeah,
check it out.
Yeah. But I've gone with Anthony.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not running.
Where do we start with him?
Where do we start?
Again, around 100 million.
Yeah, I think he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In English money? Or
somewhere around there.
Stupid money.
Yeah.
Stupid money.
And he's never had 2 or 3 games where he's been good. He's had 1-2 games, if that, where he's dialed. He's over 100 million, and I've been seeing things on the internet that people need to talk about him and Grealish in the same conversation. That is stupid. Like, it is so
a little bit.
It's so uneducated. Like, you obviously don't watch football, because Anthony has been shocking. He has been awful, and he doesn't bring anything to the side, and hasn't done since he's been here.
Would you put Anthony as not one of the worst Premier League winger of all time?
Signings?
No, just one of the worst players in the Prem.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
That man is awful.
Yeah.
I've seen players who used to play for Wigan better than him.
Yeah, I've seen Orion Tovan at Newcastle do better.
Tovan.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
What a shout that
but
is.
I've seen these types of players.
Tovan.
I've seen these type of players do better, and Anthony has been awful, especially with the players around him as well. Like, they can get the best out of him. You know, they're not great, but you've got Bruno Fernandes, one of the best players in that 10, and he can't even get the best out of Anthony. So, yeah.
Right, on to Newcastle now. I've gone with Jamal Lascelles.
Oh, okay, yeah, captain. I think he's club captain.
He's meant to be.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I can see what you mean. Is it getting old, like getting on a bit, or
if that and he don't play, so what's the point?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's fair enough. I went with Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
Saw a few new fans online saying that he is Championship standard this season. He's been awful. No creativeness on the ball, no creativity, and has sort of shown his flaws this season. And he's 29. You don't really want to be hanging on to someone who.
He's 29?
Yeah.
I thought he was younger, isn't it?
No, yeah, he's 29, and you can't be in a Newcastle side again wanting to push for Europe every season where you're having these off season and looking like a Championship player.
I think with Jacob Murphy as well, his finishing is so bad.
Yeah.
He's missed so many easy chances.
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, and just think it's time to get rid.
Yeah. Right, on to Nottingham Forest now. When I tell you this man is forgotten that I've picked,
Go on.
I googled him, and people still thought he was at Watford.
Okay.
I've got with Dennis.
Oh yeah.
The internet thought he was still at Watford. I'd done my digging, and he is at Nottingham Forest. I don't know where at Nottingham Forest he is.
Yeah. He's done the Malasia, sort of just disappeared.
Yeah, so get rid of him.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
that's literally it.
All it said. Yeah, fair enough.
People think he's still at Watford, so he has to get gone.
I went with Taiwo Omni, striker, L&E, whatever. Yeah, he is class. I think he's a quality Premier League striker. But this season, one man has emerged, and that is Chris Wood.
I said it from the start. No one else would listen.
Yeah, that the cue his reaction.
Yeah.
But he's just been quality this season, Chris Wood, and I feel like L&E, he just hasn't been good enough. And in terms of breaking into the team, he's a quality Premier League player, but he hasn't done enough to get into the team. Chris Wood has overtaken him in that spot, and again, he can get to most Premier League sides as a striker. Yeah, exactly. And he's strong, he's fast, he's good at finishing. He's everything a team needs as a striker, and he's proved a few seasons now for Forest that he can get them out of relegation zones. He can, you know what I mean?
He done it last season.
Yeah, he can be that guy to be their talisman. And what Premier League team wouldn't want that in their team? You know, like Everton, for example, or someone who can get them goals week in, week out. And I feel like people need to start taking notice that he's not getting games and, you know, pulling the trigger on trying to get him, because he's going to be a good player for any team he goes to.
Right, should we go on to Southampton?
Yeah.
Again, quite a few players you could say for this.
Yeah.
Mine's for the player's sake, not because he's bad.
Okay.
Got Bazunu.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's still young. He's still 21, 22, something like that. And he's fourth choice at Southampton. You think of the players that are getting in over him: Alex McCarthy.
Yeah.
Obviously, Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah.
And Joe Lumley.
Yeah. He got a lot of hype as well, wasn't it, when he come in?
Did he come from City?
About 15, 20 million they bought him for, and hasn't worked out. And maybe his level is the Championship. You know, he done well in the Championship for Southampton. I think it's him and McCarthy sort of battling it out, and now Ramsdale's come in. He's completely shifted Bazunu out of side, to be honest. And it's a good shout, to be fair.
I just don't think a player of his quality or a player of his potential should be a fourth choice reserve goalkeeper.
That's fair enough. I went with Ryan Fraser.
Oh, that man's dog shit.
Yeah, honestly, he's such bog standard. Like, he is.
I don't think he's that.
No, it's bog standard Championship. Like, he has been awful this season. He's their worst rated player this season. I think it was 6.2. And it just hasn't been good enough. When they come up from the Championship, I thought they were going to get rid of him, to be honest, because they saw that he wasn't good enough to be a Premier League player, and that's when Newcastle were bad. That's when they were Steve Bruce in charge, you know, like we're talking in the trenches here.
Yeah, they were in the trenches.
And they showed he wasn't good enough there. So why take a gamble on a guy who's 31 and
his pace ain't there anymore?
I don't think he's got much for his game anymore, and I feel like he just needs to go back down to the Championship because he's not Prem standard, as we've proved this season.
Right, on to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yep.
There's quite a few players for this as well.
Yeah, there's been crisis recently, haven't they? But if you haven't checked out our Postecoglou video, check it out now. Talk about Postecoglou in that video, why he should stay, but obviously that's changed. I went with Buma. It's a big call. Yeah, he's their sort of main DM after Højbjerg went, and I just don't think he's been good enough at all. He just sums up what Spurs are. Plays good in 1 or 2 games, then disappears when the going gets tough. You know, like when they're up against, when they've got a 2-0 lead, or you know they're winning. He goes into a shell and it goes reckless sometimes. Like look at the Chelsea game. I'm not just saying it because it's just happened, but in that Chelsea game, it summed up him at Spurs, like diving in for challenges in your own box.
He didn't need to make that challenge.
No, he didn't at all. And like, what are you thinking? It's just so Spursy the way he plays. Like you're leading the game, shut up shop. You know, not do anything too reckless. But I don't know, it just doesn't get through to him. And Jamie Carragher called him brain dead, and he's probably on the right lines of that, to be fair. But I just don't think he is what needs to go forward and get this team out this sort of Spursy name tag that they have. He's the epitome of that for me. So for me, Basuma, and they probably get a decent amount for him, to be fair. But I just don't think he's what Postecoglou needs to take the team further on. Yeah,
I've gone with Gents.
Oh, okay,
He was bought in, 3 seasons ago whenever Middlesbrough done well in that season.
Yeah.
He just hasn't played. He's been loaned out everywhere in here. It's just not worked out for him.
Hasn't really lit up either when he's gone on loan.
He's still young. He's 24. So he can still change his career about. I just think he needs to maybe take it back down and then maybe have a few seasons in the Championship or a season in the Championship and enjoying a sort of mid to lower. Right, shall we move on to my club, West Ham?
Go for it.
1-0 Sakio last night.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
But, one player who's got to go. I've said this many, many times on the channel, and I've said it to you in private.
Go on.
Ings.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. I literally was there watching them and Wolves last night.
Yeah.
And he just looks awful. Like, he runs and presses well, but
he's past it, isn't he now?
He's a typical West Ham signing. 3 years past his peak. He once in the challenge for a Golden Boot. So like, oh yeah, that's a good signing.
Yeah.
No, he's just awful. And you think, I know the thing with Antonio is awful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But we've got Full Krug. Bowen's proven his mettle at striker.
100%. Yeah.
Danny Ings, I think he's Championship now. I don't think he's Premier League.
Yeah, I said that I think last season. He's Championship level.
I've said he's League fucking too.
To be fair. That's fair enough. He hasn't been up to it, and probably on a lot of money as well.
Oh yeah, I think he's on like 100k plus.
There we go then.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I went with Mikufal.
Yeah, I was going to put him.
Yeah.
But then I was like, he can still do a job if Wan-Bissaka gets injured.
Yeah, I mean, when I've seen him come in, I've watched a lot of West Ham this season, and when he has come in, he does seem like he is their weakness when he does come on. I don't think he's bad, but I just feel like, again, it's sort of like the Walker situation where he's a great servant to the club. You don't want his name tarnished. Yeah. You know what I mean? If Wan-Bissaka gets injured, for example, for 6 months or whatever, he then comes in and he's awful. It tarnishes his legacy of what he's done at West Ham. So I feel like before the going gets really tough for him, I feel like they do need to get rid. And again, acknowledge what he's done. Quality servant, won the Conference League and all that. But I think it is time to sell him. Yeah, I mean, I like Kufal. I think he's one of our underrated players, or was one of our underrated players. Yeah. His link up with Souček, obviously, his work rate going forward and going back is unreal. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like his legs have just gone a bit. That's all. That's what I think. That comes with age as Walker. But... Right, should we go on to Wolves, last but not least? Go for it. I've gone with Sasha Kaladzic. Oh yeah. Austrian, same. I went with him. You went with him as well. Yeah. I mean, was he their club record signing at one point? I know he cost about 18 million. Yeah, he cost a lot. Wolves fans let us know. Probably Cunha was. I think Cunha was quite a lot. Yeah. But he's been. He had, I think it was ACL or something, kept him out for at least a year. But again, when he has played, he hasn't been good enough. He's played quite a few times this season, come off the bench, and he hasn't performed. And you need those guys to perform, especially with 18 million being spent on you. For a team like Wolves, who are down there and they need goals, you need someone who's going to perform. And if you've got a guy like that who's on, probably a decent chunk of wages as well, you need to get rid. And I feel like he could be good in the Bundesliga because that's where he come from. But yeah, I feel like he's getting rid of Kalajdzic.
Same. Right, that is the end of the video, guys. What player do you think needs a move from their club for any reason at all? Let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll catch you next one, guys. See you later. To like, share.